Thank you for choosing the Fair Weather Podcast. You are here with your boy, 2K Suave. I'm here with my boy, Alex Rodriguez,
What's up?
A-Rod, mad home runs,
Uh,
everything.
yeah, got a head like Barry Bonds, man.
Damn, you on them roids and stuff?
I wish, man. Nah, but
Oh,
that's not my style, man.
damn.
uh,
What's up, man? How's your week going?
week's going good, man, and we're just jumping right into one of the best to get it done. We both got him as the background.
Oh,
Uh,
it's MJ birthday, huh?
Shout out to MJ birthday, probably mad bloodshot eyes. Think he was smoking a cigar somewhere.
Mad cigar smoking and brown liquor.
And the kids are running up the budget for sure, man, because he even parties like a kid at the same time. So
Hey man, MJ is my favorite superhero, man. When he saved the world in Space Jam, he's my favorite super. Him and Batman are my favorite superheroes. So
he's definitely a player that I looked up to when I was a kid. I just hated watching him just shit all over the Knicks when it came down to that point. But other than that, uh, the shoe collection is all Jordan. I wish I could put it in the background, but I'm not too flashy when it comes to that. Uh, Dude has definitely put a tamper on my budget and my wallet and my earnings over the years, but he's definitely
he has a lifetime of doing that. It's crazy.
yeah.
Jordan has been in my life for as long as I remember life. So
I know it's crazy. So
crazy.
shout out to MJ on his birthday. So today's topic we're gonna go into uh corrupt ownership. Ownership
Ooh,
and
corrupt. That's the word we're gonna use, huh?
corrupt is the word I'm gonna run with. I would say modern slavery, but I don't want to call it that. I want
Oh
to
yeah, no.
yeah, I don't want to jump into that.
We're gonna edit that one out.
We could draw all the lines to that, but I would say corrupt ownership, and how it's affecting certain organizations. And we tried looking into the NFL. I'm sure there's more, we can think off the top of the head, but one situation that sticks out in mind would be the way that the Houston Texans are handling this whole Deshaun Watson situation. Um,
Amen.
you said it best on, I think we said in the last two or three shows actually, that he's taken down everything off his Instagram. There's no
Mm-hmm.
affiliation with the Texans.
Yeah.
He's in street clothes and shades in the picture, and the ownership is not facilitating what he wants. He's asking to have out, and they're saying that he's not going anywhere. And this is all stemmed from a shitty head coach and GM they had before that traded possibly a great friendship and teammate in uh, Hopkins and Watson.
It actually started with Dwayne Brown when they
Dwayne
traded
Brown,
him to the
yeah,
Seahawks.
the Seahawks, yeah,
What
they
like
got him.
that made no sense whatsoever.
None, none. They move him, and then out of nowhere, we're all chilling at home on a weekday, and we see that Hopkins has been traded to Arizona, and we're thinking, why? Why would
I thought that was fake news, to be honest with you.
I
That
I
makes zero sense whatsoever.
I did it too, but he shrugs his shoulders, plays out the season, leads the league in passing yards with over 4,000 yards passing with depleted receiving core, and
Oh,
definitely
he was actually close to 5K if he didn't
yeah,
receive. Yeah.
and a depleted running back in David Johnson. And then all he asked is just in the head coach search to interview one guy,
Mhm.
but they shut that shit down. They said, you know what, we've got an agency looking into this and it'll take care of it.
Yep.
Now, at what point do you listen to your players and want them to be involved into these process? I get you.
Not only your players, your best player or your second best player, because at that time JJ Watt's on the team. But if one of those two are speaking, at one point are you gonna sit down and actually listen to what they got to say?
Exactly. And you said one player, JJ Watt, they just cut him, mutually agreed to cut ways. But you're also kind of seeing the way the culture of this organization is going. And teams and people have been speaking out about it. Past Texans players have spoken out about it, that these people don't know what they're doing. And to get these guys to get the hell up out of there as quick as they can before, they ruin their careers in this organization. Hopkins obviously isn't phased by anything. He's balling out where he's gone to.
Mm-hmm.
Andre Johnson obviously got rubbed the wrong way when he left.
Mm-hmm.
And Deshaun Watson's already seeing that side effect of it. Didn't interview the guy that actually I think they did interview him after, like at the last second. But
when he started taking down all his posts and stuff.
And then I'm pretty sure
they still hire. No offense to homie, I can't even think of his name. No offense to him, but they still hired this guy who, like, I mean, like come on, like, compare. Even if they didn't hire Eric Bieniemy, there was so many out of all the coaches that they hired. To me, that was like a pity hire because he's black, I guess. So it's like, okay, we're gonna hire this guy though.
Yeah, is he black?
Yeah, apparently he is.
Oh, okay.
Well, I couldn't tell when I saw him, but I think he is. So
I mean, good for that, I guess. But at the same time, we've gone over this before. There's a lot of good coaches out there that deserve to be head coaches and haven't gotten that opportunity to. And your star player is asking just one thing, and you don't facilitate that for him. You're rubbing him the wrong way. So they already said they're not going to move him. Like, what do you think this organization, like, is it no loyalty to their players and just shut up and play for us? Or how do you perceive these NFL owners, running the show with these, simple demands, nothing crazy, like I need a jumbo jet on the weekends to go to Vegas and stuff like that. Just interview a guy for me.
So you know how I feel about the Texans. I have no love lost for the Texans because Cal McNair, when he said I don't pay attention too much to clickbait and media and stuff like that because a lot of it is kind of just pumped to cause us to go crazy. But when Cal McNair said during the Kaepernick stuff, we don't want the prisoners running the prison or the prisoners running the asylum or something along those lines, I took a lot of offense to that because, as a black man, there's 70% of the NFL happens to be of African-American descent. So when I hear a billionaire talk about a bunch of young African-Americans, I take full offense to that. But it makes me think there's probably more people like him that just do a better job not letting us hear what they actually think, who are all owners in the NFL. Now, I can't speak for all 32, but I can speak for the fact that I know Cal McNair said what he said, and it was supposed to be like behind closed doors. So it's like, okay, I'm pretty sure. I don't know about Jerry Jones, but how does he feel? I think Jerry Jones seems like a guy that likes his players, but I don't know.
He looks like he says some shady shit behind doors.
So it just makes me question like what their true mindset is, because the Texans to me are a shit show. And if I was the owner of a team, I wouldn't want to let Deshaun Watson go, right? But you know that your team is in complete rebuild mode. It's pretty obvious. JJ Watt comes to your office and please, hey, can you guys just release me? We didn't even know that it was going to happen in the media. It just happened. Why? Nothing got leaked. It just, all right, we'll release you. Cool. But that means they're not even getting any value for him. But Deshaun Watson is like, please trade me. Mind you, what that means is you're trading somebody, you're going to get first round picks, first and second round picks, a player, like you're going to get value back. And they're like, no, they're not going to answer the phone. They're not going to listen to him. And to me, there's a lot of just, I don't know, underneath all of that, it makes me feel some type of way. But as the Texans as an organization it's pathetic. NFL ownership in general, at the end of the day, they all have one thing in common. They're all billionaires. Yeah. So the most important thing to them is the bottom line. Deshaun Watson is going to sell tickets. He's not a distraction. He's going to sell tickets. But and that's how all the other owners think. This guy is going to either sell me tickets or win me a Super Bowl. Either way, I'm getting bread in my pocket, and that's going to be the way they approach every situation. To me, is less about the player in the NFL, or I mean, for the most part, definitely the NFL. It's less about the player and more about the bottom line.
I mean, you can even look at it the way that they handled the whole Kaepernick thing as well. Everybody was so against it. We want you to stand this and that. And now all of a sudden you see all of these racial instances popping up in daily life. Black Lives Matter movements, all this, and they decided to switch, be on different lines
Why
of
is
things.
that?
Why is what?
Why
Why
is
not?
that the reason they switch so quick like a damn flip flopper in the political
I mean, I
shit?
wish I had the answer, but it's just like the safe thing to do. If everybody's,
You
it's
don't. You know the answer.
I know the
The
answer.
answer in 2020 and in 2021, it became is paid like you get paid for being woke. Before, you get paid for winning Super Bowls and this and that and the third. But the moment they had an opportunity to hop on that because they knew it's going to help.
It's all capitalization to their best
Yes,
play. That's all it
exactly.
is. And I mean, look at all the advertisement they get and the merchandise they sell off of it. And all this guy wanted to do was bring awareness
Exactly.
to
Think
stuff.
about it. The merchandise, the merchandise, the everything that they can sell, all the money they can make. But
Absolutely.
I never seen the NFL have any commercials to do with racial injustice ever in my entire life. Once the thing happened last year with George Floyd and everything that transpired after that, all of a sudden they got commercials, they got T-shirts, they got billboards. I'm like, where was this same energy for the last how many years? The NFL, what they say, 100 years of football or something like that. Where was the energy? So I don't know.
They ended a man's career because of this, and he's fighting for equal rights as he should be, and doing his thing. And I'm not mad at him, and neither is he. He doesn't want to come back and play, I'm sure.
Yeah, he does.
I don't think he does at this
He
point.
he wants to come back and play,
At this
but
point, I don't think he does.
at this point, I think he's accepted what his role in life is going to be. Like everyone's calling is different, so I think he was like, you know what? I guess the NFL's not my calling no more.
Once again, these guys, like, look at the Bears. They need a quarterback. Why wouldn't the Bears call him? That's all they need.
At this point, it's way too late for that.
I
It's
understand.
been 5 years.
I understand, but all I'm saying is I know deep down inside he would want to play, but at where he's at in life, I think he's content. I think he's fine with it.
That ship has sailed. I'll say that much.
But what it shows is there is no loyalty in the NFL to anything. One moment it's this, and then they're quick to forget about you at anything that happens. And even at that, so the other argument I could make, does Deshaun get the rap, or players that demand to be traded, do they get the rap of being a bad person? Because in the NBA, now if we go this route, we obviously see Draymond Green speaking out about things about NBA ownership. And I think over the couple of years, the NBA ownership has gotten a lot better with, the whole Donald Sterling thing. We got that leaked conversation and we got rid of him. But what I was trying to get at is if a player demands to be traded, such as a James Harden, and they make him out to be this bad person for wanting out of an organization, is that the right route to take on this?
As the player, from his player standpoint,
yeah, as a player, like is he?
Should I demand to be traded publicly? I mean, it's look for me, how I see these things. If it's a job, right? What they do at the end of the day, it's a fun job. Don't get me wrong, it's a high paying job, but it is a job. If you don't like your current situation at your job, when you have an opportunity to want to leave your job, you should take on that opportunity. Now, my day-to-day job, I'm a recruiter, okay? So as a recruiter, we give all our clients contracts. Look, I don't have people. I just had a lady 2 days ago and terminate her contract a little early because she found another opportunity. Or you have a contract, you want to go work for a different company, you have the right to at least explore it, So from an NBA standpoint, I feel like these owners feel like once this player signs this contract, he's my property. And that's where I have the issue with a lot of these, again, billion-dollar owners,
modern slavery,
who have the mentality like, now I own you. You signed this legally binding contract, so now I own you. And if a player feels like this situation is not right for me anymore, we as fans should not be offended, and owners should not see it come, like should not be surprised when it happens, because a lot of this time that when these things happen, there's obviously something that started from your end as an owner You didn't draft the right players. You didn't recruit. You didn't sign the right players in free agency. You traded his best friend on the team. Like, they should know when these things are going to come, and they shouldn't be villain. Making these players come off across as villains for wanting to leave the situation. So I don't have a problem with somebody saying I demand a trade. Now, if the owner, if their agent, right, if the agent really, because what happens is that the player is not actually physically allowed to be on the microphone and say, "Hey, I want to trade," because that's like, it's just that's a bad look. Like, I
Mhm.
wouldn't go on the microphone and say, "Hey, I want to trade. I don't want to be on this team no more." Blase, blase, blase. But James Harden didn't do that. Anthony Davis didn't do that. They have their agents do that for them. So when it's from the agent, at the end of the day, the agent is not employed by the NBA or the NFL. They're
Yeah.
employed by Clutch
Yeah.
Sports. They're employed by CSS. So that's who they report to. So if they want to go to Adam Schefter or Adrian Wojnarowski and tell them, my player might be looking to be traded. Obviously, Adam Schefter is going to go tweet that right away. Wojnarowski is going to tweet that right away so they can put that out there. You know what I mean? So as long as you're following that protocol, going to your agent and letting their agent handle everything, I have no problem with that. Because that's, to me, at the end of the day, the age you sign a contract, which is a legal binding contract with that franchise, but you hire an agent who 9 times out of 10 is legal, so they know how to get you out of your contract or know how to work those things out. So
Right.
that's the whole point why players got agents in the first place, was for this specific reason that people keep pushing back about now. So
Yeah. So the argument Draymond is making is in that aspect that James is villainized for being that. Yet Andre Drummond, who's circulating in trade rumors, plays a game for the Cavaliers, and then the second half they pull him to get back in street clothes because he may be traded.
he didn't even start the game. He showed up to the game fully dressed in layup lines.
Mhm.
Right before a tip off, they tell him, "Oh, no. We're gonna probably trade you soon. So go on and sit at the end of that bench."
I get if you're traded. I get
Yeah,
that. If
yeah.
you're pulled, you have to be pulled because you're now going to another team. You obviously can't fill up the stat sheet for your old team anymore. You don't belong to that organization. Um, but he wasn't. There was just talks. So now you're pulling a guy from a game that he enjoys playing, that people are obviously going to see him play, one of the players going to see play, and other scout or other people looking to see if he fits the mold for their organization want to see play. And it's got to suck because you're a high caliber defensive rebound kind of scoring player. I wouldn't say a household name, but like NBA players, NBA
Yeah,
people like
everybody.
Andre Drummond
Man,
is.
he's averaged over 15 rebounds a game for the last 3 or 4
Yeah,
seasons. I mean, you
so
can't.
it,
That's
it
not hard.
just
That's easy to do.
it sucks that because he's abiding by the team rules and he's being professional, but he's also being alienated from his teammates and not being able to play. And he hasn't been traded. He has not been traded. So Draymond's argument is, um, should players be allowed to be vocal about this? If teams can be vocal about it, if the organization can be vocal and say we're going to trade you, why can't players be vocal about it? I honestly think that they should. I do get the argument that it doesn't look right for you, but things are evolving. People are evolving. Times are evolving for certain things. I get it in a business aspect that we can't just go into our job and be like, I don't want to be here anymore. I really don't want to do this job anymore. This job sucks. Why am I even here? Because if your boss gets wind of that, he's gonna fire your ass and get you out of here.
No,
You
he
know
won't.
who?
Your boss that can't just fire you because they got to be paperwork. They're gonna
I know
bring
there's
you
got to
in
be paperwork,
HR.
but you're putting a bad taste in your boss's
You're
mouth,
putting a bad taste in your mouth, but you're not doing anything wrong. Because at
well,
the end of the day, the way it works in human resources. I am studying HR, by the way. So for MBA, shameless plug. I'm bettering myself. But anyway, the way it works, you can't just, without specific incident that happens, you can't just fire an employee because they say I don't want to be here anymore. Because what happens is that if you fire me because I say I don't want to be here no more, I can literally go back and like I can sue you because there wasn't like a specific incident that happened. There has to be a reprimand. There has to be a write up. There has to be like you talk to HR and a final warning. All these steps have to happen before you get there.
There's,
Now,
I mean, you're beating around the whole picture. I mean, I understand
but
all that
I'm
has
I'm
to happen.
I'm getting back to your Draymond point. So the thing how I looked at Draymond's situation, it's bigger than just Andre Drummond, right?
Mhm.
Now the problem that I have is that, and I think a lot of people have been listening to what people have been saying about it, and everyone's kind of both sides of the fence about his comments. And I think what people are doing they were picking out specific segments and specific words that he said, but we're missing the bigger point. Where it is that as a player, when I want to do what's best for me or know what my situation is, I should be allowed to explore that. So let's say you're a player and you've been playing for a city. You have a not as 5-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 10-year-old. You've been living in a specific city for 4 years. You know, Chicago. Okay, let's say you're living in Chicago. Your kids are in school. Your wife is this, and you establish relationships in your neighborhood. And on a whim, at a 7 o'clock on a Tuesday in February, without any explanation. They haven't briefed you about it. They promise you they won't trade you, and then they still trade you. Blah blah blah. On a whim, your life has to stop. And here's the problem I have because people are gonna be like, "Oh, you're a millionaire." Blah blah blah. But listen, money is one thing. Mental health completely is bigger than money. You know what I mean? On a whim, you have to figure out where are we moving to, where are my kids going to go to school, where am I going to find my next home to live in. Like, there's a lot of things that happen quickly for a player, right? But when that happens, the media is not going to vilify the team. The GM doesn't get vilified, the coach don't get vilified, the team owner, the president. You don't hear a peep. You're like, oh, okay, this player got traded, like it's a piece of property. Oh, so and so is here now. So and so is here now. However, when the shoe's on the other foot, I know my kids are in school. I know where I want to go to, or different options I would like to go to, and I ask for that. The media is like, oh, he's not loyal to his team. Like Brett Favre was coming on talking about Deshaun Watson. I'm like, who the hell do you think you like? That's the shit that bothers me, and I know what Draymond, LeBron backed them up, D Wade backed them up. I know where their mind is at. Where when a player wants to be in control of their destiny, they're vilified for wanting to control their destiny. But when a team says, I'm going to release you, I'm going to drop you, I'm going to trade you, we just have to be like, oh, it's the team. They're doing what's best for the team. And that's where I have the issue because at the end of the day, I have 4 kids that hate Denver, Colorado. Hate it, completely hate it. My wife wants to go back to Atlanta, or my wife wants to go back to New York, and I would like that opportunity to go play in New York or at least explore my options so I can be closer to that. I should not be vilified for thinking that way, and that to me is the bigger issue because when you are vilified for thinking that way, it becomes shut up and dribble,
Yeah.
and that's what it's a connotation that these players don't want to have associated with them because it's again NFL and NBA is 70 to 80% African American, and there's this stigma and this permanent stain that's going to be placed because of stuff that's happened in the past, and the people who own the teams are proven to be from these they have these racial mindsets.
Yeah, absolutely.
Donald Sterling, McNair, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that's to me is the bigger issue that I feel like needs to be addressed because at the end of the day, if they trade Andre Drummond, they trade Andre Drummond, and we should be okay with that as fans. As long as they told him about it, he should be okay with it as well because at the end of the day, he was playing in Detroit a year ago, so like I'm pretty sure he's used to not buying a real home in the city that he's in. He's probably got a condo. He's gonna sublease it, cool, whatever. But
Yeah,
as
and he
long as
knows
you give him the
that.
proper notice, then I'm okay with it.
Yeah, and
But
he He went from one bad team to another bad team, which makes no sense. And now he has the opportunity to be with a contender.
Because that's, I mean, at the end of the day, you're doing him a favor. Like, so for him, I'm pretty sure he's like, okay, if y'all want to go buy me out, I can go play in Brooklyn, LA. I'm cool. If y'all want to trade me, if you can do me any favor, put me in one of these 5 or 6 teams. Like the Rockets didn't have to trade James Harden to Brooklyn, but I mean, at least they did that part right. But we as the media can't vilify James Harden for wanting to leave in the first place.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And I think you should be able to listen to what your players say. If you say, hey, we want to trade you and we're going to trade you here, then, you getting the heads up on it. But if we're saying we're looking to trade you, where would you want to go? Like, where would be places? Do you want to go to Contender? Do you want to be somewhere else? Like, you should be able to facilitate that is what you should be able to do. You should, it's kind of like with work. You have an open door policy usually with your boss that you can talk to him about stuff.
Yep.
It should be that same type of way, not just, the two greatest things that are two examples I have of that, being a Jets fan are Darrell Revis and Jamal Adams. Darrell Revis was off in the offseason in Florida on jet skis, and he hears he's been traded to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Yeah. And then Jamal Adams is just chilling at home, and his name is being circled in trade talks, so he's never said he wanted to leave.
Yeah.
And then they kind of villainized him for going to Seattle. But, that's just the nature of the sport, people will say, and hopefully that can change. And for the better for Andre Drummond, he can go to a contender.
Specifically, though, what do you think the approach has to be where it's like 50-50, where it's not like, it's, what I'm trying to say? Because like,
I think it's just mutual respect is all it is. Like, that's all you got to have is just be upfront with them. When they sign these contracts, there shouldn't be any type of blind movement on there. If you sign a contract and you have a 5-year, like, no trade clause, we can't trade you for anything unless you give us consent. The very first thing that you should be doing, but even before even throwing that person's name to another team, is going to that person and saying, hey man, we're pretty shitty. We suck. And we want to move you. If we could move you for the right things, would you want to move, or do you want to continue to be in the muck over here with us? Like, what do you want? That should be it, as opposed to throwing it around. It should be transparent on both sides, because at the end of the day, you're making these dudes millions. You're making them millions. You're getting paid millions, but you're making them more money than what you're probably making.
You're making them billion. Like these people buy these teams for $750 million and then sell it for $10 billion. Like, they making serious buku money off of a Deshaun Watson, like
a name, a brand.
My name, like, and exactly, and that's the other thing. Deshaun Watson is Deshaun Watson Incorporated. Whether, like, that's his, he owns himself. If Deshaun Watson Incorporated wants to move, think about it. Amazon wants to open offices in Tampa and in Austin because, they're done with California. No one's gonna tell them don't do that.
Yeah.
And if Deshaun Watson Incorporated said, "Look, I'm trying to be in Denver, Miami, San Francisco, New York. That's where I want to be." This should not be, oh, he's not loyal. He shouldn't be talking. Just shut up and dribble. Just throw the football. Like, nah. That's when it becomes, I see what you think about me.
I see your true colors is what I see.
Exactly.
But let's pray that these guys, get traded to the right teams and they go to contenders.
Correct.
And we'll segment our way into our next segment that we have called Contenders and Pretenders. So we're getting slowly to the middle of the NBA season.
It's happening quick.
It is. It's very quick.
Yeah, it's just,
and it's like
December was just a couple months ago, and now we already damn near half All-Star break.
Exactly, and it's like every day there's a little story, and then it just fades away, and then another thing happens, and it just fades away, because sports analysts and media analysts have to give some kind of story, because ESPN can just go on TV, and we can't come up here just like and freeze up. So
we're just going to talk about LeBron for an hour a day.
We
can't do that.
We kind of left 3 teams off of this list. The Lakers, the Clippers, and the Nets, because everybody has them going to the ship. There's no reason anybody should think that these guys are pretending.
Those are definitely contenders. Like, it's not even, to me, it's going to be, listen, before we get to our pretenders and contenders, look, I don't know who's going to beat Brooklyn 4 times in 7 games. But let's get to our contenders and pretenders.
It's gonna be tough, but yeah. So we'll start out East first. Philly's leading the pack. Boston's there. Who else is there? Milwaukee. The Nets, of course, we're leaving them out of this. But let's start with Philly. Do you, as a Phillies fan, think they are a contender to possibly go all the way or make it deep?
Make it so to me, are they a contender to make it to the finals or not?
Correct.
Or at least make it to the semi. I mean, look,
I would say the Eastern Conference Finals. That's what you want. That shows good progression on your team.
The Philadelphia 76ers will make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, and they get swept by the Brooklyn Nets. So, to me, that's a pretender. I think our contender that we have is Joel Embiid, who I have like a hair under LeBron for MVP 2021. But, and I was watching Ben Simmons play against Utah the other day. Ben Simmons is a phenomenal player, but he's never going to, like, he doesn't want to shoot the basketball. Everything is fast breaks, layups, and dunks.
Yep.
And his free throw percentage is not great. You know, he's probably all right, look. It's just if he played in 1985, he would win MVP every single year. But in today's basketball, they're literally backing up off of him and asking him to shoot. Please show us that we can defend you a little bit closer. And I don't know, man. If he wanted to shoot the ball and he played like LeBron 05, 06, like LeBron wasn't a great shooter back then. But there's games LeBron would take over with his mid-range because he decided to shoot and got hot. And Brent Simmons refuses to take that next step. And until he takes that next step, we're going to be pretenders because Tobias Harris is a very good basketball player, but nah, I'm not sold. I do like the Seth Curry addition, but that's about it. Like, it's Embiid or bust, and Embiid is notoriously having bad knees, too many cheeseburgers, so I'm not sold.
So you say pretenders in Philly.
For now, pretenders.
Boston, they got a good little nucleus going there, man.
But you see their record?
Everybody thought getting rid of Gordon Hayward was going to impact it, but you're getting to see the emergence of a Jaylen Brown, and we all know Danny Ainge loves to wheel and deal at the trade deadline. Drummond is linked to them. They could get a center.
That ain't gonna help them.
Hey man, anything is possible. Anything is possible. But all I'm saying is, would you consider Boston contenders or pretenders?
You know the problem I have with Boston?
I hate Boston.
Kemba Walker.
Yeah,
I love Kemba Walker to death. Cardiac Kemba, man. Like, we talked about it before. You know, you got the little UConn love or whatever. I always, back then they were in the Big East. I always supported every Big East school because I'm a UNC Tar Heel fan. But when it came to the Big East, USF, obviously, but Big East, I supported Big East basketball no matter where they came from. That's why I was a big Carmelo fan back in the day with Syracuse when they were used to be in the Big East. So, but Kemba, he is not working. It's not. I mean, they were better off keeping Terry Rozier than signing because Terry, the money that Terry got is either the same or less than what Kemba got.
Yeah,
and Kemba he's had a little bit of injuries, but he's not cardiac Kemba no more. I don't know what it is. I think he's played his best basketball when he was with Charlotte. But Tatum and Jaylen Brown, to me, they're great, fantastic. But that's all they have. Mind you, Marcus Smart has been hurt. So when he comes back, maybe I'll change how I'm feeling. But they're a game over 500 right now. As we're talking right now, they're 14 and 13. They're not. They have those two, but they're like. Do we really trust Tristan Thompson? Do we really trust Semi Ojeleye? Do we really trust Pritchard, the rookie?
don't bash Pritchard because my boys over at Townie Sports. That's God to them right now. Pritchard. I think Kimba, like, I think last year he was fine with the team. Like they got along. It was working. It was
It's
clicking.
not personal. It's
Yeah,
talent.
no. I know, but I think he's just been injury bitten this year, very badly, and they're trying to find ways to move on without him. And then if he comes back, plug him in, and hopefully it works. And I pray it works, for him because I don't wish. I just hate that he signed with the Celtics
Why do you think they signed Pritchard for?
because he white, and everybody got to have that one white boy.
Nah, bro.
Celtics loved him some white boy.
That's Kev.
No, that's
That's Kemba's minutes.
that is Kemba's minutes, and he was drafted. He wasn't signed.
I mean, that's what I meant. Draft.
And I think he's a good little addition for Boston. But I think once Kemba comes back, we'll see something happen. But he knows he has to play the third.
He's back.
role.
He's playing. They still suck.
Is he back now completely?
Oh, he back. He been back for a little bit now, and it's not helping. You know what they're missing? And they tried to get AD a couple years ago, and that failed. They've been linked to Giannis. They don't have a solid big man.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you have. Two great wings. It's like having. Listen, they're literally Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, Junior of the East.
Yeah,
because you have two great wings on both ends. You have your defensive Marcus Smart and Patrick Beverly,
mm-hmm.
and then you have you have some good bench player. They have a Lou Will, and then they have who do they got off their bench? I can't even tell you right now. They have Kemba. Let's say they have Kemba, but
it's young. It's a young team.
Exactly, but they don't. Both the Clippers,
the hump.
Both the Clippers and Boston both lack that solid big man.
Mm-hmm.
Like Brooklyn doesn't have they don't have a solid big man, but they have Kevin Durant. You don't need a solid big man. The Lakers have LeBron James and AD, so they don't need they had centers that was just rotating door last year. You know what I mean? But Boston, they don't got Jason Tatum's not there yet. Jaylen Brown's not there yet, where they can just literally physically carry a team on their back to a championship. So right now they pretenders, but we'll see when Marcus Smart get back, and I'll see how I'm feeling.
Okay. Milwaukee. Everybody's high on Milwaukee to, go the whole way, but obviously with the emergence of the Nets, that's a big block in the way. Do you consider them contenders, pretenders?
They are contenders if Giannis, crazy to say, a two-time MVP, if Giannis can become a better basketball player.
He could show up in the playoffs.
If Giannis becomes and it's crazy to say this, right? You got a guy who's averaged 30 and 15 and 7 PER record or whatever. He's won 2 MVPs in a row. And to me, he's not good enough as a basketball player yet. Think about it. LeBron won 2 rings before he won his first championship as well. But LeBron had to become a better basketball player for them to win a championship.
Yeah.
Kevin Durant has scoring titles and MVP in OKC, but he became a better. He played for a stacked team. But when he got there, he became a better basketball player. And Giannis is a phenomenal basketball player. He's on the path to get to a Hall of Fame. He's all that stuff, right? But it's the same thing. He gonna drive to the basket, full head of steam and dunk, and and that's about it.
I feel like the offense just runs through him completely, and they don't have the right guys on the wing to kick it out. Middleton's a good crutch, but you're gonna need more than just a Middleton to get you out of the.
I mean, they picked up Drew Holiday, and everybody say every team's a Drew Holiday away from a championship.
That's true,
and they're 16 and 12. That makes no sense.
I think Drew's a good addition, but I just feel like they're missing little pieces there and there.
You know where they messed up? They let Malcolm Brogdon go.
Yeah, you don't win Rookie of the Year and then get traded the next year. That doesn't make any sense.
Malcolm Brogdon is a bad boy.
He's a good
For him to go from Milwaukee to Indiana, he went like down the street to a different state, 2 states below or a state below him, and Indiana, as of right now, is only a couple games back of Milwaukee. So, and Malcolm Brogdon was an excellent. He's a 50-40-90 guy. He can shoot the three. To me, Chris Middleton, Malcolm Brogdon, Drew Holiday, and Giannis. Now that's a contender.
That is, I would agree with you there.
Well, when you take it, and sometimes it's either a big move or a small move, and it might appear as a small move that Brogdon was because of the money he was asking for, but what it's like when OKC let James Harden go about 10 years ago now. When they let James Harden go, I knew OKC could never win because James Harden was that. You know what the Spurs were? They had Ginobili, Parker, Duncan. Like he was like their sixth man off the bench that can play that Ginobili role. He would have been perfect for that team, but
they wanted another route, and you saw the superstar potential in him to be, and he just did it, and they built it, and then came crashing down. So,
but I mean, Milwaukee's probably a place where someone they can get a trade. If they get the right piece, it doesn't have to even be a Bradley Beal or anything, just the right piece. Then they can be a contender because the way it is, how I'm looking at it in the East, which one of those teams that you mentioned can beat the Brooklyn Nets?
I mean,
that's what it comes down to.
But on paper, nobody.
Exactly. Nobody. You need 3 Hall of Famers on your team.
I agree.
Plain and simple.
And then we got one last East team that I'm going to take just to turn this.
I wanted you to have this one. I'm not even going to say nothing.
All right.
I'm going to take your role.
Okay.
So, A-Rod. So I got one more team on this list that I want to see if you think they're contender or pretender. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
The New York Knickerbockers.
All right.
Oh, shit, I see y'all. All right, go ahead. I'm not talking.
They're in the hunt, for playoff contention, which is good. We went and got D Rose again because he's part of the Tibbs organization. It's part of the Tibbs organization, meaning he'll love to run you into the ground. He did that with him and Taj Gibson back in Chicago. Now he's doing it in New York.
And Minnesota.
Shit, they were there too. That's crazy.
Exactly, right?
but the Knicks, no, man. Like they're definitely not contenders. If they make
all right, can I change? All right, to me, because they haven't been in the playoffs in a while, they haven't been relevant in a long time. So my question to you is, we're not going to say if they can beat Brooklyn and make it to the championship. Are they contenders or pretenders to at least win a playoff series? Make the playoffs first and at least win a playoff series. Take it away.
I think they're pretenders at that too. I think it's if you look at if they come in at the last seed, they got to play the Knicks the Nets, and they're not gonna beat the Nets. Even at that, the top 3 seeds in the East are pretty tough to play. Now we're getting good basketball out of Julius Randle, which he wants to stay. He wants to be here and try and help win championships for the team. He loves playing for Tibbs, but that's up to the organization to make that call at the end of the day. And I don't want to get into that organization. They're another bad organization in handling things too. But what I do like seeing is getting the minutes to this kid quickly to play. And now that Mitchell Robinson is out a little bit, let's get Toppin some minutes to get in there and play a little bit. And then Nerlens Noel, who's under the radar, I don't think he's a bust.
I'm just playing.
No. I think he wasn't the right pick, but I'm happy with it at the same time because I thought Julius Randle would be gone by now. But Toppin, get him some more minutes to get him to play a little bit more. Nerlens Noel is under the radar. He's in the top 5 in blocks per game. Like he's averaging 2 blocks a game, and I like that. I always thought he was a decent starter if in the right situation, but no offense.
Definitely not the Sixers.
No offense to you guys drafting 3 bigs in 3 years in a row.
Hey, trust the process.
The process worked out. But, if Tibbs can take him to the playoffs, that's all I really want to see. So I'm going to put him as pretenders, big-time pretenders, but just getting into the playoffs, that'll lift my spirits to this organization to make me want to watch them more. That's all I want to see.
Looking at the Eastern Conference, by the way, I thought the Eastern Conference was going to get better with all the additional talent they have. Jimmy Butler, Kawhi, Kevin Durant, blah 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 blah. Right. The East is not good. Like
No,
we're gonna get to a segment in a second about looking at All Stars and stuff. But I was looking at the teams in the East. The top four teams have winning records. Mind you, the fourth seed, the Boston Celtics, are just a game over 500.
yeah,
Everybody else is below from 500 and below. So the Knicks are 14 and 15. They're sixth currently right now. The Knicks could very easily be a four seed.
it's tight.
And as a four seed, they would have to play the Pacers. Talk about the damn 90s. Gotta have to play the Pacers in the first round.
Even at that with Melo too, with
What?
Paul George and Lance Stevenson,
Right.
and Roy Hibbert. Like there's bad blood there, but
Yeah, that would be dope.
that would be dope. But that's gonna be hard for them to get over that hump. I'd like to see it. I'd like them to play the Wizards because we swept them. I mean,
The Wizards are not making the playoffs.
and bless that man that put 10,000 for them to win the NBA Finals. God
Don't bless him. He got millions of dollars. He's fine.
God bless that man, and he just got money to blow around. All right, let's shift to the West. Denver. What is up with Denver this year? Denver was riding that wave in the playoffs, and they were won most of the year, weren't they?
Yeah, that's a solid basketball team.
It is, and they're not showing.
No, LA was one most of the year. They were two and three. They were going to be between them and the Clippers, but they ended up being second, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so.
Because the year before they had the one seed. The year before when LeBron got hurt.
That's right. But what do you think about them? Like they're obviously not playing the right caliber basketball or the same caliber basketball they were playing last year. I don't even think they're not even top 5, are they?
They're number 7 right now.
Exactly. They're looking almost on the bubble out. So would you consider them pretenders or contenders?
So my top 3 MVP candidates is LeBron, Embiid, and Jokic. Jokic, that's a bad boy.
It is.
All right. He's slow and unorthodox, but boy, like he's one of those dudes you go to the park and you don't want to pick him. Like I'm gonna pick this big old.
And he makes you look stupid for not.
And he's like, and I'm like, he the one. Like I bet y'all should have seen me practicing.
You said you rang.
That's Boba.
No, he'll get you with one of those things and catch you off guard.
Jokic won't say a word the whole street game. It's like y'all playing the 21, and then point 20, he gonna start talking shit.
Yeah,
I call game. So Jokic can ball. Jamal Murray, I seen him ball. Him and Donovan Mitchell, they had that first round epic matchup. They going back and forth, scoring 50 and 100 points or whatever they were doing. So I know Murray can ball. What it comes down to, will Michael Porter Jr. become a better player? I have Michael Porter Jr. in fantasy, so I watch his stats and I watch him play a lot more than I want to right now because he's been playing like trash over the last. Now, he was dealing with COVID, and I forgot what player said it. I wish I could remember, but he said COVID has definitely affected my conditioning. So I want to give him the benefit of the doubt and be like, all right, because he was out for a while. He wasn't in COVID protocols. He legitimately had COVID, which obviously is an upper respiratory disease, your lungs and all that stuff. So I want to give him the benefit of the doubt and say, all right, his condition is not all the way back. He's not in shape. He doesn't have the same lung capacity that he had about a month or two ago. I'll give him that benefit of the doubt. But with that being said, he needs to be the third best player for them to be a contender. And him playing how he's playing right now, they got rid of Jeremy Grant, who was an amazing player for them last year. I feel like that hurts them defensively and offensively because defensively, I mean, he didn't do a good job of doing it, but he will guard LeBron. He will guard your best player. You know what I mean? Like, and he gave LeBron problems in that conference finals, but it's LeBron James at the end of the day. But night in and night out, you're not playing LeBron James, so he became a very important player for them. Michael Porter Jr. is not a defender like that, and Millsap is old. I mean, the team they're a good team, but they're not contenders.
Okay.
So no.
So you have them as not
Mind
contenders.
you, I don't think I've given you any contenders yet,
I don't think so.
which is
It's
I'm
hard.
trying to give somebody the benefit of the doubt.
I know. I think we got one or two in here that we can sneak in. Let's jump to Phoenix now. Let's jump a little bit south and go to Arizona and Phoenix. They get one player, and I've always said this: you just get Chris Paul, and he'll
Best
bring
leader
you
in
together.
sports.
He'll the best leader in sports, him and LeBron, and they will put you together a team and at least get you to the playoffs. And that's all the Suns want, is to get back to being a dominant team in the West. And right now, I think they're sitting at 3. Could I be wrong?
They're fifth. They're tied with Portland for fourth and fifth. So
Okay. All right.
yeah.
I mean, the West is,
But think about it. They're 17 and 10.
Yeah.
For the fifth in the East is 14 and 15. So you see the difference.
Yeah. I mean, the teams that are definitely in the playoff hunt have a respectable record.
Mhm.
But Chris Paul showing up is opening up more shots for Booker, where he doesn't have to kind of play point as well.
Mhm.
And he can just shoot where he needs to shoot. And he's creating, havoc down low for DeAndre Ayton, who I say is very, very underrated.
That
I
was a
mean, he
good
was
draft
first
pick.
overall, but when you think of Phoenix, he's not the first person you think of. And you're
Yeah.
also seeing a lot of players coming into their roles. I've always loved, and I was pissed. I was pissed when they traded him on draft night because I thought he was going to be a Knick. Miles Bridges,
Bridges.
I love his game.
Uh-huh.
Good defender, and I'm telling you, he can score. If he wants to score, he's going to score.
Yeah,
He's
no, that
definitely
was
score,
good.
but he's a complete package player. And the other guy, Cam Johnson, I think is his name. That's coming out.
Oh, the one from UNC, the Tar Heel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's guys coming out of their show, and plus they got Sarchik and all these other guys on the bench that know their roles. They got a
So
good young
Dario Saric.
yeah
That
from
was
Philly. You're welcome.
yeah, we messed that one up too.
But what do you make of their
Cam
play
Johnson,
style?
yeah. What do I think Phoenix is a contender? When you have Chris Paul, anything is possible. He will look, man. Chris Paul was with Houston, and they should have beat Golden State, the super team Golden State, back in 2017 with Durant, all of them. They took him to Game 7, and they should have beat him. D'Antoni pissed the bed on that one. He completely messed that one up, having them shoot threes, and Chris Paul had a hamstring tear or injury or whatever he had, right? The next year, they come back, and again, it's them at Golden State. They lost to Golden State, but they could have beaten them too, right? Let's follow up, and they put in Westbrook, and they were not the same team. Not to say the Rockets became an unfavorable team to play for, to the point where James Harden is now a Brooklyn Net. Because they think about it, they brought him in for a year. He's already in Washington, and now James Harden is a Brooklyn Net. And homeboy, the Swedish dude we were talking about earlier in this year, Capella.
Oh,
He's in Atlanta now. Like that whole nucleus is gone.
yeah, it's
Covington gone. Like it's just
and even at that, like we all thought Chris Paul was going to get traded immediately from Oklahoma City, but they held on to him, and they still made the playoffs.
to the playoffs.
They who did they play in the first round? They almost beat. I think they took
the
them
Rockets.
7. Yeah, they took them 7
They
games.
took it to the 7th game. Very bad team. He took them to Game 7 against the Rockets.
Yeah, so I mean, the Chris Paul effect works. I honestly don't think they are contenders because they're just new to this. I think new teams that get the
but Chris Paul's not new to this.
Chris Paul's not
and
new.
Devin Booker, boy, that boy is a monster.
Boy is good. I don't think they're. Do you think they could beat the Lakers? You think they could just go head with the Lakers?
I think, and it's crazy for me to say this.
LeBron is listening, by the way.
Oh no, this has nothing. This has nothing to do with LeBron. I think Chris Paul, if he really put his full on everything he had into a series, Chris Paul could be anybody. But Chris Paul gets in his own way because he plays too hard and always gets hurt.
Yeah, always.
Always gets hurt. But if Chris Paul gave everything he had and stayed healthy, and everybody around him, because he makes sure his players come. Like Tom Brady came to Tampa, and them boys was locked in. Chris Paul, wherever he goes, them boys get locked in. So I think Chris Paul, if he put everything together, Devin Booker got hot. DeAndre Ayton's is unstoppable. Cam Johnson knocking threes. Bridges is doing this. They got the guys. But can they make it to the championship? Nah. Nah. So they're not contenders, but they're not pretenders to me either.
Yeah, I would agree.
I will call them their team. That's a team I'll keep my eye on.
They're in limbo right now. Let's jump to the next one. This is probably like my new favorite team to watch. Portland. Portland's got Dame time every time, all day, every night over there. CJ McCullough's hurt, but they're still getting wins. And hey, man, if it wasn't for these fucking analytic stat shit, Carmelo Anthony would have a job. It killed me.
My favorite player. Boy out the
my
league.
favorite player, man, and they just shit on this man. But Portland said, you know what, we're gonna get it done. We're gonna do this the right way, and he's accepted the bench role. But when he needs to show up, like you see him put up 26.
He killed my Sixers.
He can do it, yeah. I mean, and then you've got what's his face? Nurkic. Nurkic.
He's hurt too.
Yeah, they have an injury bug, but they're still getting wins. If this team can come healthy, they got Rocco, they've got Cantor, Gary Trent Jr. is coming into his show. They've got a good little team. I always say they're always a piece away. They're always a piece away from something. Like just missing one thing. And I don't know what it is, but if McCullough comes back, Nurkic comes back, could see them as contenders? Because I've always said like they're a good team. I put them at least 3 in the West in my books.
Yes, contenders.
You put them as contenders.
Look, this is not a hot take.
Dame is the Undertaker.
This is not. I'm not. I'll give you a hot take every now and then, but it's not. It's not a crazy hot take. But listen, I know how great Steph Curry is. Okay, but I feel like people sleep on Damian Lillard because I think Damian Lillard offensively is almost as talented as Steph Curry. Almost. Now, the thing with Steph Curry is just, he's a wizard. That's what it is. Steph Curry is just, his ability to get open is ridiculous. It's like how he moves without the ball is what makes him a better player to me than a Damian Lillard. But if I'm putting talent for talent, I always say Aaron Rodgers, to me, is more talented than Tom Brady. But Tom Brady is just a smarter player like Steph Curry is. But Dame Lillard, Dame time. We talk about clutch. Damian Lillard in the last 10 years, there's some stat I saw earlier. Since 2012, he has the most go-ahead buckets in the last minute of a basketball game. It's him and then LeBron. People say LeBron's not clutch. Okay. Yeah. But anyway, Damian Lillard, I seen him shoot Paul George out of a series on the last shot of the game. He shot the Houston Rockets back in 2014 out of a series in the last shot of the game. I see the clutch. He's more explosive. He's not as good as a handler, but he's crafty with it. His jump shot is crazy. He's a willing passer. Dame is nasty, and they're doing this without CJ and without Nurkic. Nurkic, to me, if he can just stay healthy for God's sake, is a top 6 center in the NBA. Yes, Jokic and he's a top 6 center for sure in the NBA. McCollum, he's what Milwaukee wished they had. Chris Middleton's a good player, but I'm pretty sure they wish they'd rather have a CJ McCollum. So, to me, they're all going to come back healthy. And if they stay healthy, Melo, McCollum, Dame, Nurkic, Gary Trent Jr., who I love to watch play, picking up Robert Covington was amazing.
Good pickup.
The boy that played in Miami last year, slammed the competition.
Derek Jones.
Derek Jones. I mean, he plays his role well. They got talent on that team. I they have a good coach. They have a good culture. They have a good nucleus. They don't seem like they beef with each other. That has the makeup to me. If they beat the Lakers in a 7-game series or the Clippers in a 7-game series, I would not be surprised at all.
I wouldn't either. And that organization loves their players. They went
Yes.
back and got Cantor because Dame wanted him back because he liked.
Oh, and it's Cantor. Like, damn, like they're deep.
Went back and got that guy. Like they got a squad. And the last thing you want is Dame writing a rap song about you. You don't want that to happen.
That boy will roast your ass.
So the last team we have on this, and surprisingly, they're one in the West, man. They're turning heads. The Utah Jazz. Do you think they are contenders or pretenders? And all it took was for Shaq to say, I don't think you're that good.
Donovan. Listen, I was watching this team earlier in the year and last year and stuff like that. And I'm like, you know what? They're not going to be nothing more than what the Toronto Raptors and the Atlanta Hawks and the Indiana Pacers were in the East when LeBron was there. Because all those years, Indiana would finish first. LeBron kicks them out the playoffs. Toronto would finish first. LeBron sweep them out the playoffs. Atlanta Hawks will finish first and send 4 All-Stars to the All-Star game. LeBron kick them out the playoffs. Yeah. So I'm like, man, whatever. But this is LeBron, like prime LeBron. Like LeBron has had like 4 different careers, and he's been in a prime since like 05 till now. But LeBron is still 36, and he's not Thanos. You know, he is 36, year 18. He's playing way too many minutes a night, and Utah got some young talent. Donovan Mitchell. I've been saying this. I've been saying this since I started watching the play. I'm like, man, I see a lot of Dwayne Wade in this guy.
Like D Wade.
D Wade won the Miami Heat championship at 24 years old. Okay, 2006 he was 24. Carried them to down 2-0 to the Mavericks. Carried them to an NBA championship. Donovan Mitchell looks like ever since Shaq was talking that mess. Donovan was like, all right, bro. Donovan Mitchell is from New York. I think he's from Yonkers, actually. Like, Donovan Mitchell's cut from a different cloth. He's not a scrub. He's not no punk. No. And people like him take that. See, there's a lot of soft players in the NBA. Donovan Mitchell is not soft. And he heard Shaq talk. I'm like, all right, old man, I got you. And then Rudy Gobert, Shaq was talking about Rudy Gobert. Like, oh, getting paid $200 million. Rudy going ball.
Rudy gets yammed on a lot, but at the same time, Rudy blocks a lot of shots and gets a lot of rebounds, and he's your prototypical big man without an outside shot. And
when you're a shot blocker, you're gonna get dunked on. It's just the nature of the game.
It's inevitable, but at the same time, he's getting it done. And I think the best thing that happened was they resolved their little tiff with the whole COVID thing. Because at that time, nobody knew what COVID was, and we just felt like it was like, oh, you gave it to me.
Yeah, it was like getting HIV. Like, oh, you reckless, blah, blah, blah. I shared a needle with you, bro. Like, what's up?
But the way they patched that up, you're seeing Jordan Clarkson coming into his role. And he's played with LeBron, so he knows some LeBron things he can share down. And going back and getting Derek Favors, man, I'm telling you, like, he knows he can go one place for a year. I know the Nets drafted him with like the 2nd or 3rd pick out of Georgia Tech. And then they trade him immediately to Utah. And he played his career there, and then 1 year with the Pelicans, and now right back to where
that's home for him.
He likes it. Yeah. He likes it, and he plays well with that team. He knows his role. He doesn't have to be the 3rd overall pick and play like a 3rd overall. He just play like a role guy, and he's fine with it. But they got good defenders. Mike Conley's on that team too. Mike fucking Conley.
What we say about Drew Holiday is what we say about Mike Conley. You're either a Drew Holiday or a Mike Conley away from being a real contender, because those two every year slept on. They should be all-stars every year. But they just play in the West with too many guards.
Yeah.
But they play the right way.
Ingles, a lot of guys on that team.
Yeah,
A lot of guys.
like Bogdanovich for
Oh, how can I
Bogdanovich is a
forget him, man?
Bogdanovich is a ball. That team is yeah. Look, that's a contender. Like to me,
I agree.
that's a legitimate contender. Like no more so than Portland. Definitely more than Denver. Who was the other team we talked about?
Phoenix.
Phoenix, definitely more than Phoenix. Like to me, right now, currently constructed, because of health. I mean, we got LA, and Utah. To me, you can shake a bag and pick one out, and I would not be surprised if any one of those three come out the West. Last year, I laughed at Utah, so this is a big step for me. I didn't know like Donovan Mitchell was taking that step where I'm like, all right, this team is nice. This team is nice.
I think you just needed the right pieces and to resolve that underlining COVID thing that happened.
Yeah, they had to get past that for sure.
Yeah, now it's come past that, and Snyder has those boys balling over there. So.
And Jordan Clarkson, you gotta give him a lot of credit. I'm gonna give. Oh, I gotta shout out Kevin Laura, because he's called this for months and months and months. I told him I'll give him his flowers because he's a big Donovan Mitchell guy. Listen, Donovan Mitchell and Ben Simmons, they had that whole rookie of the year thing, and I'm gonna ride or die for my boy Ben Simmons. But I'll be in that corner. It's like you're in a relationship, but you like, damn, look at that Donovan Mitchell. He balling right now. I was jealous of him. But no, Donovan's nice, bro. Donovan's nice.
It's nice, and I love me some Donovan Mitchell, man. I wish the Knicks could have pried him away, but they didn't do it.
And he's from New York.
He's from New York, man. Gotta love that. Let's jump into All-Star. All-Star weekend's coming right around the corner. So KK and I just for fun, we put together our starters and reserves for each team, and I think for the most part they should look identical.
We'll see.
What do you want to start, East or West?
We'll start with the East, because the East was let's start with the West, because the West to me is a lot easier. The East is kind of in. So we'll start with the West.
So LeBron James, of course.
Sorry, you can do your starters first. Do your starters.
Okay, so my five I've got, and I'm pretty sure it's identical to yours. Maybe one player's off.
All right.
LeBron James.
Okay.
The Joker.
Okay.
Kawhi.
Okay.
Dame Time. And this is my last one because this boy is he's a wizard. You keep calling him a wizard. I'm putting Steph.
Oh, we got the same five.
All right.
You got the same. You're always nervous. I'm like, you better put Steph. Steph, look, I got the same five: LeBron, Jokic, Kawhi, Steph, and Dame. We know what LeBron's doing. He might win an MVP this year. Jokic was an MVP candidate this year. Kawhi, we all know the fuck Terminator. He's great. Now, the point guards, Dame, you got to put Dame.
Yeah.
Steph, though. Y'all, this man
is quieting people, man. He could probably be fourth on that list for MVP.
Look, man, you were talking earlier this year, and I laughed. I was like, the Warriors fifth and the West Chop, please.
I know they're eighth now.
They're eighth right now. They are eighth right now. They're not going to be fifth, but they're looking a lot better than I expect. Like Steph, I thought he wasn't hurt the whole time he was hurt last year, because he was working on his game. He's been working in the gym. Steph looked like MVP Steph. And I'm like, damn, this boy is crazy still, bro. Yeah. And it helps me feel better. It helps me sleep better at night that LeBron lost to him. Come like, man, at least he lost. Like, at least he ain't lose to no scrub. Like, he lost to Dirk Nowitzki. I'm like, all right, at least it was Dirk. Tim Duncan and all them Ginobili's and them, like, at least it was Tim Duncan. You know, we're talking about top 10, top 15 players. Steph, I'm like, man, he makes me feel better about it. I'm like, at least it was Steph, because this boy is crazy.
All right, so let's jump to the reserve roles. I have, pains me to say it, but he's a great player still, Paul George.
Okay.
Luka was the one I thought some people would maybe have as a starter on there, but Luka, just his record is holding him back.
Yeah.
I have Anthony Davis on here before he went down. Thank you for telling me that before the show. I totally forgot that. So I'll give you a sub in for Anthony Davis on that. Donovan Mitchell, of course. Devin Booker, of course. You got to throw Rudy Gobert on there. I'm going to say first-time All-Star here, Zion Williamson. Because this boy in 50 games is doing some
I
things.
know he's doing some things.
And then my shoe-in last player that I'll put on this list, because I'm just thinking off the top of my head and by the numbers and I look at it, I'm gonna throw Brandon Ingram on there as my last.
Would that be to replace Anthony Davis?
That would be my replacement for Anthony Davis.
Okay.
What you got?
I have all the same, but so I have Anthony Davis, of course, but he's gonna be hurt, so they have to replace him. So we'll get to the replacement. Donovan Mitchell for absolute sure. Paul George for absolute sure. Luka Doncic, of course. Devin Booker. I have Devin Booker in there.
Okay.
I have Rudy Gobert in there. So all those are the same. Now you have Brandon Ingram as your replacement.
Mm-hmm.
My replacement is Chris Paul.
Okay, I'm not mad at that either. I'm really not.
Paul. Because it's what he does.
Culture.
What he does, statistics you can't just do by statistics. You have to understand literally the value that he has for his team. I got Chris Paul instead of Brandon Ingram for my replacement.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Let's jump to East now. I think this will look the same except for one player on the starting, but it also may be the same once again.
Okay.
Okay. Kevin Durant.
Okay.
Your boy, Joel Embiid.
Uh-huh.
Now I'm so happy. The Greek Freak.
Uh-huh.
You have to start this man, Bradley Beal.
Uh-huh.
And now this is the one.
I'm curious about your fifth starter.
Yeah, this is the one that I say I'm putting James Harden there.
Yo, we are like attached at the hip, man.
Let's go.
You're my boy, Blue. You're my boy. I got the same stuff because I see people putting Kyrie, but James, man.
Kyrie already said it. You're the point guard.
What I watched him do to Phoenix, who we were just talking about, come back from 24 points down.
When he shot that shot, I was like,
man, James, I can't believe the league allowed you to go to Brooklyn. Like, they don't want LeBron to win another ring.
James has the ugliest hair right now, but has the nicest shot in your face, man.
And he's still going to the strip clubs with that ugly hair.
He's still knocking down bitches. All right, so let's go to my reserve role.
Uh-huh.
This one's a little bit tricky, but I'm gonna
let you say. I'm not even gonna agree or disagree. I'm just gonna wait for you to say it. All right, go ahead.
Okay, so on this I have Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Trae Young. Kyrie's gonna get in there. Should he be there? I don't know, but he's part of that, trio. He has to. Now, here we go. First time All-Star, Zach LaVine. You need to respect this boy's game. Zach LaVine, I think he's 7th in scoring. So Zach is a first time All-Star, leading his New York Knicks 3 categories. Don't mess with this boy.
Dr. Julius
Randle, okay?
Julius.
And then my last pick, and this guy, it sucks that he plays for such a, mediocre organization and doesn't get the credit he does because he averages the same numbers year in and year out. I'm going to put Vucevic from the Magic there. That's my last guy to put in.
All right.
That's my last guy. All right, let's hear yours.
So we have different picks on this one. I knew the East was going to be.
I figured we would here.
I knew the East was going to be a little different. I'm like, all right, we're going to do the East last. I got Kyrie.
Okay.
There's no way I'm not putting Kyrie on this.
Of course.
No matter all the bull crap that he puts us through as far as psychologically, Kyrie is still Kyrie. So
I truly wanted to find a home for Colin Sexton, and I thought Kyrie would be the guy me to take out, but
can't do it. So I got Kyrie.
Okay.
I got Jaylen Brown.
Okay.
I got Jason Tatum.
Okay.
I did it on purpose. I put Jaylen Brown before Jason Tatum, by the way. I think Jason Tatum is going to be the best out of those two, but this year, Jaylen Brown will blow me away.
Yeah, okay. I agree.
I have Domantas Sabonis.
Okay, that was another guy I was arguing for Vucevic.
I have a first timer in Julius Randle as well.
Woo, let's go.
I look. The league needs the Knicks to be good.
They do.
And I'm like how I feel about Alabama is I'm like a closet Kentucky supporter as well with basketball. So I like whenever players come out of Kentucky, I'm always like I watch them closely. I've liked Julius Randle since he was in college, just like I like John Wall and DeMarcus Cousins and all them boys. But so I would be very happy for Julius Randle to be successful. So I want him to be in the All-Star game. Julius Randle.
Okay.
I have Chris Middleton. I know we're talking about him. He's not, but Chris Middleton is important. He's very important for that Milwaukee team to be successful. So I got Chris Middleton. Now my last one. I was in between Vucevic, Tobias Harris, and Bam Adebayo. Bam is averaging 19.8 and 9.4 rebounds, but the team is like 11 and 16.
Crap.
Vucevic is averaging amazing numbers, 23 and 11, but the Magic are trash.
Mm-hmm.
Tobias Harris plays for the first, mind you, I didn't even pick Ben Simmons. I love Ben Simmons.
He's not putting up numbers.
But he's not changing life right now. I will vote for Tobias Harris over Ben Simmons. And listen, the coaches, huh?
No Trae Young?
No.
Okay.
The game was in Atlanta. Damn. All right, just so y'all know, I'm actually going to be in Atlanta during All-Star Game weekend. I'm so excited. It's going to be a fun time. Trae Young will probably make it over Tobias. You know what?
Oh, good, but I mean, if you say Tobias, you got an argument.
Because I'm putting Tobias because their team is first in the East. I mean, like that got to mean something.
It's not a one man.
He's averaging 20.7 points a game, 7.4 rebounds. He's shooting 42.5 from the three, over 50% from the field goal. For the first place Philadelphia 76ers. And the Hawks are not even in the playoffs right now.
Somebody's got to go, not just Embiid.
So I'm going to pick Joel Embiid, and I'm going to pick Tobias Harris from the Philadelphia 76ers. Is it biased? Probably. Does Trae Young deserve to be there? Probably. But I'm going to stick with Tobias Harris because his team's in the playoffs. Winning got to mean something, right? Mm-hmm. Mind you, Bradley Beal's team is trash, but Bradley Beal is not the problem. So
not Bradley Beal. No.
All right.
Let's we'll see how this goes when they select the starters, and we'll see where we rank up on that. But I like that we got most of the same thing. I think we're on the same page.
We're on the same page, yeah. We're on the same page.
There's a small pool of NBA players.
You gotta respect the Domantas Sabonis, though.
I do. It was hard for me to pick. It was hard for me to pick, but Vucevic puts the same numbers up year in and year out, and I was like, this guy.
But he's not changed. Like Domantas he's got a team in the playoffs. When he was at OKC, he was doing well with them. When he was at Indiana, he got them in the playoffs back-to-back years.
I agree.
He's like, I don't know. Vucevic is nice. Don't get me wrong. And that team is hurt, so I understand why they're not playing well.
I did that for my Magic fans, man. I just want them happy. So, all right. So let's jump into the last segment that we do before every show. Where did he go to college? Let's run it. We'll eventually get some theme music for this.
All right. So we got now I had to remember. I don't know if I gave you this one already, but we're gonna do our special guest who hasn't joined us yet, Nick. Hasn't joined us yet. He gave me one, and I got 4 others. And the 4 others are all relevant players, so don't worry.
Okay.
Have we done Ben Wallace?
Yeah, we did Ben Wallace.
We did Ben Wallace. It was probably episode 1, huh?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I'm going to give you, not Ben Wallace. I'm going to give you a player from that Detroit Piston team.
Ben Wallace did go to Virginia Union, though.
Yep. So, yeah, you remember. I had a feeling. Where did, I have this one in my back pocket. Where did Antonio McDyess go to college? He was relevant. Don't play with me.
Oh, no. Yeah, absolutely. Great underrated player. Antonio McDyess, I hope I don't mix this up. He went to Alabama, if I'm not mistaken.
Alabama, Roll Tide.
Did he?
Congratulations, he did.
Okay, it's either that
or second overall pick, 95.
By the 95 draft, Denver Nuggets, man, when they had that ugly brown jersey.
Oh, the Los Angeles Clippers selected him. He played for the Nuggets,
Yeah, he didn't play
but
for
he
the.
got.
I don't know the draft for. I know the
All right,
team.
all right, all right, all right.
No, he
Like,
went
who
to
drafted Luka Doncic?
the Hawks and they swapped.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
You know what I
that's
mean?
recent. That's pretty recent on that one.
Yo, if he had a card with the Hawks, ooh, that would be worth a lot of money.
It's a good trade right there, man. It's a good trade for both teams.
It was good for both teams. Good for both. All right, next. I gotta give you a Caucasian, okay? But my boy was a baller now. Jeff Hornacek.
Ooh, man, Jeff, you sucked as my head coach. Fuck you for that. But you were a baller with the Utah Jazz, and you did go play for Iowa State.
Wow. Alex Rodriguez, you don't ever fail to impress me.
I came to play today.
All right. Now here, you should know this one. Okay. But I'm doing this for a state that I care about right now, okay?
Detroit.
Nah, it's not Detroit.
You went to the College of Detroit, the whole city.
So, in honor of Michael Jordan, these people actually thought that this homeboy was better than Michael for a second. Whatever drugs they were smoking, I don't know. But where did Clyde the Glide Drexler go to college?
Clyde, if I'm not mistaken, did go to Houston for college.
And who did he play with?
Hakeem the Dream. It was.
And what was the name of that basketball team?
Phi Slamma Jamma.
Let's go, Phi Slamma Jamma.
That's an easy one, but I'll take that one. I'm not mad at that one. So.
Hey, all the people that live in the state of Texas, I got family in Houston, my parents, my sisters in Houston and Austin. Praying for y'all. You know, it's crazy over there. Y'all are not equipped for this kind of snowstorm. So
God bless.
But listen, y'all are laughing at Florida for a long time. So hey, look at me now. All right. All right. Next. This young man had a pretty good NBA career, but you know him, okay? Larry Hughes.
We did this one before.
Did we?
Yeah, he went to St. Louis.
We did. Oh man, we get. All right, cool. How about Daniel Gibson?
Boobie
Gibson.
Oh, Boobie, man.
Ooh, I knew this actually.
Boobie,
you'll see the jersey and you're gonna be like, "Damn, he did."
I know. I'm gonna see it, and I'm gonna like kick myself in the ass. But I mean, he just got relevant for that little stint with LeBron, and then he just disappeared.
And then he was married to Keisha Cole for a little bit.
Yeah, and she should have cheated on him.
They knew what I was missing. Boobie Gibson, where you go to college?
Oh man, I'm gonna guess.
You might be right.
USC.
Oh nah. Think about the jersey. You can see it.
It's red, isn't it?
It's an orange jersey.
Syracuse?
Nah, man. He played with Texas, University of Texas.
I got me on that.
Yeah, I actually remember because I think he played
with KD.
KD got drafted in.
KD played with Augustine. I know
he was right before. He was right before.
Okay.
Right before. Last one. Another Caucasian man that was balling on these folks. My boy don't won a slam dunk competition.
I know you're gonna say
he participated or he won. Did he win? He won.
He won. No, he won that. He won that 95.
Hey, where did Brent Barry go to college, my brother?
It sucks he didn't even pan out as a commentator too, man. And then
I like Brent.
Someone was messing around with his wife too, I thought.
Who? His teammate?
I think so. I think so. Could be wrong. But Brent went to Oregon State.
You did go to Oregon State. That was one of the draft classes that you mastered.
Yeah.
So I know you knew that.
That's a hard one, and I don't know. Like he wasn't.
Oregon State is not a relevant basketball school, so that's a very tough one.
No, I gotta give you that one. Players in all sports come out of Oregon State, so I have
one. I have one special one though, because there's this app that I follow. This is a profile that I follow on Instagram, and he does a lot of trivia and stuff. And he got this one, and I was like, "Damn!" I had no idea he went to this college. Now, this gentleman, another Caucasian man, also participated in the slam dunk contest, but was terrible. However, After that stand-up contest and after some legal and drug problems that he went through, he came back all tattooed up and played with my boy LeBron James. You may know him as the Birdman, but Chris Anderson. Where did that young man go to college? I've never heard of this college until 24 hours ago, by the way.
You're gonna laugh, but I know this college. You're gonna laugh, but I know it. Okay, so I remember Chris Anderson coming in for the Nuggets right when Melo came in. They changed the jersey. Actually, no, I think he played 1 year with those shitty colors. Then they got the jersey swap. Totally goofy dude.
Yep.
Worst slam dunks I've ever seen. And then swagged out. But
came out swagged out for no reason. I'm like, bro, who the hell are you?
Chris Anderson went to Blinn, is the name of the college.
Blinn College.
I knew this one was coming, so I had that in my head at some point.
Listen, Bleacher Report, House of Highlights, ESPN. If any of y'all somehow find this footage, this man knows where Chris Anderson went to college. Blinn College.
Never heard of it.
Y'all need to get this man on y'all show. Y'all need to get him on some kind of sports trivia because that is amazing. Where is Blinn College located? I have no idea.
I bet you it's in California, but I have no idea. Look it up.
Blinn College. Oh, it's in no. I'll think today. It's in Texas, actually.
God bless.
The show is Texas today. Houston, Austin, and now Bremen, Texas.
We got the name of the show. Houston, we have a problem.
Heyo.
Oh man, made my job a lot easier. All right, so we're wrapping it up there. I did good today, I think.
No, you did excellent. Because I picked this one out the air. I'm like, bro, I don't even know. And
all right, awesome. Well, you know the role now. Twitter @fair_weatherpod, IG, YouTube, Facebook. You can just search the Fair Weather Podcast. And then wherever you subscribe to podcasts, you can find us there.
Hey, listen, Serena Williams, I love you. I hope you do well.
Do it, baby.
As we speak, and she's playing Osaka.
That kills me too because I like the girl.
I don't want either one of them to lose, but hey, do it for Black History Month. Let's go, Serena. All right.
Peace out.